This case, I knew I had to speak about it the minute the ruling was made. Last month, an 83-year-old widow won the right to a share of her husband's 1 million plus estate. Check this out. This woman, who was married to her husband for 66 years, found out after he died that he had written her out of the will and she was getting zilch. She bore 6 children for this man, 2 sons and 4 daughters, and he decided he was going to leave everything to his 2 sons. His reason? He wanted to leave the estate solely down the male line. What would you do if you were married to a man for 66 years and then he passes away? And it's only until he passes away that you realise this man has left you with nothing. Her husband had built an estate that was worth roughly £1.9 million. The court ruled that she should be entitled to half of his estate. Without this ruling, this 83-year-old widow would have had to live her golden years on state benefits of around £12,000 a year. I think it's the most bizarre situation. Her lawyers obviously argued that there was no reason why there should have been no financial provision for her. It seems like it was done intentionally, like it was done out of spite. Some additional tea, her sons were also in on it. Can you imagine? Her 2 sons were willing to walk away with all the money that they had inherited. So much for having golden children. As a woman, as a parent, you can't rely on your children. You can't rely on them to look after you, and you can't rely on them for them to not let you be done dirty. They were going to walk away with everything, and she needed to go to the courts to get what was rightly hers because her children were not going to give it to her. Can you believe it? This case is monumental because it shows that the courts want to be fair. So in a case where a woman decides to give up her entire life, think about it, she was married to him for 66 years, she was 17 years old when she got married, the courts will still try to find a solution that is appropriate and fair. This is why I say women have to be clever. Don't put yourself in situations without thinking about yourself in the future. You need to future-proof yourself. Think about the 50-year-old you. Think about the 60-year-old you. In this case, you need to think about the 83-year-old you. What would you do if your husband decided to write you out of his will? And not tell you? Women need to be smarter and they need to future-proof themselves. Don't get married at 17. It doesn't even make any sense. Why would you do that? This woman gave her entire youth to this man, and in the end, she got nothing out of it. And if the courts had not found this case in her favour, she would be left with absolutely nothing.